Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Oncidium are relatively easy orchids to grow. The flowers of this genus are colorful and sometimes have a strong fragrance. The blooms are small and numerous, and several bunches of flowers are often open at once, creating a spectacular cloud of color. This makes Oncidium orchids popular among many growers. If you have one of these orchids or want to start growing them, you must pay attention to potential pests and disease. This is the first time I have encountered this particular pest, so I will share my experiences with you in this video. If this has not happened to you before, this video will definitely help you. This is a dancing lady orchid with yellow and red flowers in the shape of a dancing girl, hence the name. In October, we spotted 3 spikes on this plant and we were very happy. I thought that if all 3 spikes opened at the same time, it would be spectacular. One morning, I suddenly found that 2 of the spikes were gone. Only this one was left. At first glance, the spikes seemed to have been broken by someone and dropped to the ground. This is a spike that fell to the ground. It has been withering for a few days at this point. At the time, I was shocked and angry, wondering who had destroyed my spikes. After asking around, I found that everyone had been very careful and that they usually didn't even get too close to it, and that it was very unlikely that they had broken 2 separate spikes. Later, I took a closer look at the place where the spike had been attached, and found that the orchid pseudobulb had been bitten by something. Obviously, it was bitten by some animal or bug. The chunk that was gone was quite large. Later, we Googled it and thought about what would bite Oncidium. At the time, we suspected that it might be a mouse or a snail. On the surface of the orchid leaves, we didn't see snail trails. Snails may hide in flower pots during the day and come out at night to munch on your orchids and pseudobulbs. So we soaked the whole orchid pot in lukewarm water for about 10 minutes, and we watched a large snail crawl out. This enormous snail was the likely culprit for destroying our 2 spikes and eating the pseudobulb. Many small snails also crawled out. This snail had laid eggs, and they had hatched. Because we keep many of the orchids outside in summer, it is easy for a snail to crawl into a pot. Since snails and their eggs can be difficult to spot, we will repot this orchid. We plan to throw away all the potting media and sterilize the pot. We will rinse the roots with water and then we will spray them with a dilute hydrogen peroxide solution to eliminate any eggs or very tiny babies. Then we will repot these in a fresh, clean medium. Because we still have a flowering spike, we have not changed the pot for the time being. We separated this orchid from all of our other orchids and isolated individually after picking off and crushing all of the snails which emerged from the pot. You can either crush them or throw them into a pile of salt. We also checked all other pots which were on the table with this one, and luckily didn't find any snails. After this flower branch has finished blooming and the flowers have faded, we will change the pot just to be certain. You can check to see if your Oncidium, its leaves and pseudobulbs are intact. If there are holes in the leaves or if the pseudobulb was bitten by something, there is a good chance you have a snail problem. You can soak your Oncidium, the whole pot, in water for about 10 to 30 minutes. Be careful not to soak it for too long, because the roots of orchids need to breathe. If you soak for too long, it will be detrimental to its growth. If it is a snail, soak it in water and the snail will come out to breathe. If it is a snail infestation, it is best to isolate the orchid, clean up, and repot it with new planting material. Snails are really common, and I didn't expect that one would sneak into my pot, hide, and then bite two of my Oncidium's beautiful spikes. This was a learning experience, and I will be more vigilant against these slimy menace in the future. I hope that this video is helpful to you. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave a message below. Thank you for watching and see you next time.